So as we get started today, this video is divided into chapters. If you want to skip at any point, just look at the sliding bar underneath the plating window and you can see the chapters to skip ahead. Welcome back to the Crochet Corner, my friends over at yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today I'm going to take you through the walkthrough of this particular design by Sarah Zimmerman of Repeat Crafter Me. Sarah and I behind the scenes have a great relationship, and I used this particular pattern on teaching how to do corner to corner in a C2C format using this particular design as a launching pad for the tutorial, and that tutorial is done extremely well. So there's been several requests of people wanting to actually do this pattern but actually go through this pattern specifically. Now the original video was built so that you could actually figure out how to read these diagrams and how to carry your yarn and do all of that. So today's video is just a read through of this particular pattern. And since this pattern has come out, there's actually an addition that was actually made to this pattern as well. So let's talk a little bit about the ideas that we have here, and let's walk through this together. So let's take a look at the two examples that we have. So we have the Graphghan work. A lot of the C2C is available only in graph format, and then other times it's available in Word format, and sometimes it's both. So it's manually figured out. Sometimes there's computer programs that can also figure that out as well in order to do that. So stitchfiddle.com actually allows you to be able to do your C2C graphs and etc. So we have an article available on that. So see the more information link of this video and I'll hook you up with detail. So what we have here is that we have the graph that Sarah has worked out, but also Knits by Kim figured out how to do it in words. So when we go to look at this, let's take a look at the diagram first, and then I'll show you what this means, because this is easier to follow than this, and I'll explain why. So Sarah has us starting in a corner to corner. So we're starting in one corner and we go all the way to the other. Could she have started over here? Absolutely. She could have started with one being here and then finished on this side. But in this case she went from right to left. So that's just very specific. So is there diagrams available in a left-handed of going in the other direction? I'm really not sure that's true, but if you were left-handed and you prefer to start with this side, you can do so. So when we go to start with this side, we're going to start right in the corner, and let's zoom in and let's discuss that. So in corner to corner, each box is represented by a square. So this is actually just one box here. So this is going in this direction down. Now originally when I filmed this is actually the second time I'm filming this particular intro, and the reason for it is that I went up. And the reason why I decided to refilm is that when I looked at the instructions that are written by Knits by Kim, I realized that she had read the instruction going down. As long as you're consistent, it's going to work out for you. So the first box here is the first set. So there's only one box and it goes down. Then you're going to expand and you'll do your C2C going up. So this box is this color, and then number 2 is going to go up in this direction right here. And then number 3 is coming down. So you just read going up and down like this on an angle. And then 5. And you can see that in these particular examples these are all the same color. And then row number 7 is when we start doing the fun stuff. So when we go to turn around and we come back down, we have 4 boxes here that are this color, and then we run into 2 brown, and then we end up back here. So the instructions then will have us changing these 2 boxes to be a brown color when we're following this along. And then when you come back up on number 8, you will just be carrying that yarn over, and this time it will be 3 boxes of brown, and then there'll be the remaining here of white. So you're just going to continue to go in that motion as much as you can, and then just continue to go on an angle. So where the boxes change color, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you'll end up here. And so it really kind of helps you that she has that labeled out. So you just continually finish things as you go, and it's a lot easier when the color stays constant for longer than just little spots and pieces, but this is how you would read it up and down on an angle. So let's take a look at what Knits by Kim did, and because that's a little bit easier to follow, and let's begin. So Knits by Kim actually figured out all this in writing format. So this is a little bit easier to read. I find it's a lot easier to read, to be honest. So she has color A, B, C, and D, and white, dark brown, light brown, and black. So WH is white, DB is dark brown, LB light brown, BL is black. So when you go to look at this, and I realized that I had drawn it wrong in the first taking of this, is that it says R1, which is row 1, is 1 white. So 1 equals the number of boxes in here. So the number of boxes are indicated just before the color. So in this case she went down. So it's 1 white going down. In row number 2 it was 2 white. So coming back up, row number 2, 2 white. 3 is 3 white. And then 4 is going up, and that'll be 4 white. 5 is 5 white coming down, and then 6 is the 6 white going all the way. Now number 7 is where I figured out that I was reading this in the wrong direction. Again, just be consistent. And what it was here is that when you read number 7, it says 4 white, 2 dark brown, and 1 white. So when we go to number 7, you see the 4 white, 2 dark brown, and 1 white. So then 8 is 1 white, 3 dark brown, and then the remaining is then 4 white going back up to the top. And so you can just do this, and then you can just read it and then check it off as you go, and then just be able to fill that in. So instead of having to count the number of boxes that it's indicated here, it's actually a little bit easier, or a lot easier actually, to do this because they've already figured out the counts for you. So you can just do that. So just keep in mind that when you're doing C2C, the more detailed the harder it is, because there's gonna be more yarn strands and stuff. So some things that you can actually carry your yarn over and get away with, and other areas that you couldn't. So just make sure that that's something that's available to you. So for example, if you went all the way up and you carried the dark brown all the way through here, you're going to see evidence of that. So you're gonna want to use your baubles and etc., as we talked about in the other video of the beginners, on just being able to carry the yarn so that you can go. So you want to do it, your diagrams, in any way possible that it just makes a lot of sense. And so this particular diagram is following up on this side, and I would literally print it out and take a pen and a paper and just being able to mark it out so that you don't accidentally do 2 in a row. Remember that you are flipping this, so at the end of each turn you are going to flip it, so every other side that you're working on the back. And I find that most people, when they screw up on something like this, especially with words, that they get confused. So make sure that you do mark the good side. So mark number 1 as your good side, like with the stitch marker, so that you always know what's facing up. The bear will actually appear double-sided, so it'll be fine in this particular case because it is symmetrical. But on things like words, or if it means something that cannot be reversed, then that's something you want to keep in mind. So this would be how you do the teddy bear, just up and down, and please refer to the other video for any instructions for carrying yarn and etc.